What's up, weirdos? What's going on, guys? How the hell are you anyways, guys? How the hell are you anyway? What's going on? Nice green day in the markets once again. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous chart, guys. Sitting inside of our golden pocket here, we want to get above and close above $110,300 roughly because we want to put in a new higher high. Um, we want to go higher than this, right? We need to put that in to get a higher high in. So that's what we're trying to do here, guys. But as long as we continue to close higher than yesterday, that's fine with me. Sitting at $109,342. A lot of time left in this daily candle. We'll see where the candle climbs to. Hopefully the bulls can make a push and get us above the close above and put in a higher high. That's the goal, guys. Will it happen today? Will it happen over the weekend? Or will it happen next week? We'll find out. We will find out. But either way, we want to hold this level here at $108,391 roughly. We want to hold that as support. So let's get into the chat. What the hell's going on, guys? Ramona dropping the 7 herbs and spices. Ripple's going to be a bank. I think we're good to leave the Fed behind. P.S. Hit the like button. Yes, absolutely, Ramona. I agree 150,000% with that. XRP's looking juicy. William, what's up, my dude? Good to see you. H. Barbarina's in the house. Jake the Snake. I'm about to make a name for myself. Little bit of gambit. Little gambit for you there. Boom. Roberto Mass in the house. The goat. First, yeah, buddy. Joy, hello, Patreon family. Happy Thursday. Let's crank those likes for the daily content. Thank you, Rob, for all you do. Thank you, Joy. I appreciate you. Paul, hey, Rob, finally back from vacation. Missed your updates in YouTube. Nice to see you again. Good to see you too, brother. I'm glad you had a good time. Glad you're back safely. There she is. Gamma Goddess is also in the house. I voted we'll have an all-time high next week. I hope end of July we'll see 115K. I think we'll see higher than 115 personally. Either way, we're winning. I think we're going to see probably, I mean, it's entirely possible we could see 130-ish, 130,000-ish. So that's what I'm kind of pulling for. That's what I'm pulling for. Rich, let's hit 25 likes before the stream starts. Did we reach that goal? We did. We're actually at 61. Guys, we're flying through the likes today. Absolutely super fantastic. Let's get it to 200 again today, guys. Let's get it to 200. What's up, man? What's up, El Curto? Good to see you, buddy. Chris, what's up, my brother from another mother, Rob? So how you feeling about the all-time highs on Biddy? Coming soon, in your opinion. Can you look at Moonwell chart and see if she's looking bullish? Everything's looking bullish, my friend, but I suppose I can. Let me pull it up here. Let me pull it up. Moonwell. Boom. All right. Now, what's the latest and greatest on Moonwell? Yeah, so as you can see here on good old Moonwell, we've got this downward trend line we're trying to break above right now. Well, we actually kind of are breaking above it right now, right? We're trying to break out right now. Successful breakout could see a nice move back up to your 236 around 3 cents 76. If we can break above that, you're going to be looking at around your 382 around 5 cents 16. So yeah, something like that. Jake the Snake, when moon, soon moon, soon moon, soon. How's the Russell looking today? Let's have a look over at the Russell. I was messing around with the with TradingView earlier today, just having some fun. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up, man. Russell's still breaking to the upside, still breaking to the upside. That's what you want to see, and it coincides with the total two. Same thing, breaking out of the bull flag as we speak. You love to see that, guys. You love seeing the breakout happen. I think once the total two breaks above the 200 here, we're going to see things really start to get interesting, guys. So I hope you are ready. Let's go have a look at Bitcoin and the M2. All right. Bring back the M2. Gotta line it up here. So there we go, man. Looking good. M2 is actually having a little bit of a curve down today, but nothing dramatic, right? Look at this, guys. We are ready to go. This next leg up is going to be so fun, right? Big leg up with not many more major corrections along the way. We'll have a couple here and there, but nothing massive, right? Kizza, what's up, my dude? Good to see you, brother. They will call us lucky after 5 months. Yeah, no doubt. That's the thing, right? I experienced that last cycle, and I'm telling you now, I'll experience it again this cycle. Everybody that I know and everybody that you know, especially if you're a Patreon member and you're making life-changing money, I can tell you right now that everybody you know is going to be calling you lucky next year. When you're driving around and all of your bills are paid and you're driving around in a nice car or your car's paid off, whatever the case might be, everyone's going to be calling you lucky. They say, "Oh, you just got lucky." They don't see any of these dumps and this redness and this boring and the patience required. They don't see any of that stuff. The panic, the FUD, the FOMO, the fear, none of that stuff they see. They'll just see you at the end of it with life-changing wealth, and they will call you lucky, right? Make no mistake about it, guys. Make no mistake about it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel, guys. It helps the channel grow. It costs you absolutely nothing. Like I said, we're trying to beat out the algorithm right now, guys, because we are being kind of suppressed by YouTube right now. We're being shadow banned. It's been a struggle. So help us out. Help us. We need comments. We need likes. And we need subs. So, help us out, guys. Help us out. We're at 80 likes right now. We've got 262 people watching. Let's get up to 200, man. Let's get the goal to 200. Kizza, you reckon ZBEC has nearly found its bottom? I do think so, yes. But let's have a look at ZBEC. I mean, you could be sitting at a local bottom, possibly. I think you'll rebound a little bit later today, but yeah, I would say we're probably pretty close to a local bottom. Twitch, when Lambo, never. I'm like Montel Williams, is that his name? I gotta get mine in a big black truck. You could get yours in a 6-4. That's how I roll, man. Wow, that was so easy. Yeah. Who's torn? Rob, could you take a look at KTA chart? The head and shoulders pattern will play out. So here's the thing, guys. I've been doing this a lot lately, and if you're not a Patreon member, you got to use the goals tab at the top if you want me to do TA on your altcoins, because nobody's using the goals tab. So there's a goals tab at the top if you're not a Patreon member, and that's where you get your altcoin requests put in. J Money, what's going on? Bulbasaur in the house. Rich, Rob, I hit the like button for you twice. There we go. Yo, what's good? Welcome to face melting season. Let's go. Interesting. Maybe it's Mr. T's admin applying indirect pressure to, yes, indirect. That's an understatement, man. That's an understatement. Spuds, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Beebs, my dude. What's up, man? My brother. David, yo, click the likes. There it is, Dave. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, my man. Terry says, hello, friends. Wanted to say thank you before I start my commute. Awesome, Terry. Drive safe, my friend. Drive safe. Volks, what's going on, buddy? Tyler, yo, what's up, Patreon fam? Remember to hit the likes. Remember those dudes harassing you in the chat about what happened to your 2031 price prediction on ZBEC, Rob? Where are you at? You owe Rob an apology. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why, we don't generally let those people bother us because, you know, they harass and they say that you're wrong. They say you don't know what you're talking about and stuff. And then when it plays out exactly as you said it would, they're nowhere to be found. They disappear completely, right? They're in the back. You know what's funny? I'll tell you guys real quick, funny story. Somebody said somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago, uh, you don't know what you're talking about, and they got all frustrated. They got angry with me and stuff like that. And then and they're like, I'm going to leave they said they were going to, I don't know. Anyway, they got upset with me. They got angry. Long story short, a couple days later, exactly what I said would happen happened in the charts. And then no word of a lie. They were one of the first people in the chat going, in Rob we trust. 2 days ago, you were telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. And now you're saying in Rob we trust, right? It's just funny how that stuff plays out. And hey, remember the guy who said on Thursday last week, remember he bet me, he said that if Bitcoin was going to go to $96,000 by Sunday. And if it didn't, he would give me $100 super chat. He bet me $100, and I would have paid him $100 if it did go to 96K. Where is he? He has not been back since he was wrong, right? That's what I'm talking about with those people. So we never let them bother us because they talk and they talk and they talk, and then as soon as you're proved right, they disappear until the next time they want to harass you, right? We won't go higher till Rob breaks out on the treadmill. Yes. Yeah, I ran another mile this morning before the live stream here. So I've been doing my running before the lives just because too many people were complaining about me being on a treadmill while I was live. So Bucky, what's up, buddy? Hey Rob, when Jasmine was over 1 cent 3 today, I thought now we could go up, but we lost the one. If BTC pulls back, how low can Jasmine go? Jasmine is pretty close to its local bottom. So yeah. And Bitcoin, I mean, what's Bitcoin doing right now? It's doing pretty good. If Bitcoin closes roughly around the range it is right now, we could see more upside later this evening when we start our fresh daily candle. Leo, what's going on, buddy? Smash that like button. Yes, Bucky. Hope all have a fantastic weekend. Super fantastic. Alex, let's go, buddy. Jed said therapy. Nice. Hey, Rob, when Swift hits a super fantastic number, I will fly out to you and hand deliver you cash donation for church. Hey, that would be fantastic, my friend. My church would appreciate it. Green Tea, what's going on? Squirtle in the house. Where have you been? We miss you all the time. Wealth X, don't sleep on XRP. Ripple is 80% likely to replace the Federal Reserve, if not the World Bank. I mean, I agree with you. Don't sleep on XRP, though some people they get out of hand with their kind of predictions. I mean, XRP is not going to replace the World Bank. Come on, right? I love your enthusiasm. I love XRP, and it's going to do great, but it's not going to replace the Federal Reserve and the World Bank, right? That's insanity. So everything would be centralized around one company, essentially. It's crazy, right? Though they will do absolutely fantastic. They will get their banker's license and all that stuff. I'm jack stacked and fanny packed for it, but I'm also kind of tethered to reality, right? Carlos, hey Rob, DCA all this week on the last gem. Nice, feeling super bullish. I dig it, brother. Me too, man. I got to do some buying after this. I got a lot to do after this live stream. I got to put in my buy alerts over on the Patreon. I got to upload today's daily picks over on the Patreon as well. And then we're going live over on the Patreon this afternoon as well. So make sure you guys are there for every little bit of that. Over the top, what's up? 6 to 10 trillion sounds good to me. Future fam, Mirdid, what's up, buddy? Have a good July 4th tomorrow. That's right. We could actually see volume die off. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's Independence Day weekend. coming up here for the States, right? So we could see volume diminish and a little bit of sideways boring action over the weekend. That would not surprise me at all. Helping you out and hitting share button multiple times. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Dadski, the Triple B just passed the house, onward to Trump's desk. Just another green light for alt season. Hell yeah. Onward and upward. Let's go, Alex. Showing up to the lives, and the Patreon is preparing us for opportunity. Join the Patreon. Absolutely, absolutely, Alex. I agree 100%. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone is ready for the holiday weekend. Let's go. Drifting to the moon. Rob's Patreon is already on Mars, baby. Yes, you guys are behind. If you're not on the Patreon, you are falling behind. Wise mind. Hey, Rob, when Ted DiBiase? Never mind. I sold my bags. Lies. Hit the likes, not the nuts. Exactly. Yes, we got 319 people here. We got 104 likes. Let's get it to 200, guys. Let's get it to 200. Hoover, what's up, man? Hope all is good. You mind looking at Moonwell? Been a while. I already looked at Moonwell. You're gonna have to go back in the live stream to check it out. I already charted Moonwell, brother. Funky, when we weren't complaining, just looked weird with the background you chose. Alfonso, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Ripple could be the World Bank, not XRP. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. The government's not, the world governments are not going to allow one company, especially a company located in the United States, to be the World Bank, right? I mean, hey Rob, what is your July price target of Jasmy? Do not have one. Hey Rob, is the low in for Zebek, or are we expecting more of a downside before? I mean, we could wick lower, but I think we're pretty close to that local bottom. So hey Rob, just keeping a positive attitude and working on getting dry powder and DCA as much as possible. Have a great day. I love it, man. That's how it's done, man. That's how it's done. Blow off top coming soon. I can feel it. Carlos, what's up, man? If they are predicting a 15 to 20 trillion dollar market cap, that would put Bitcoin around. We're talking the entire asset class, though, right? So, I mean, 100%. You're calculating 100% of that 15, 20 trillion. Even that's not an accurate statement. Here's the thing. A lot of people misunderstand what market cap actually is. Market cap is not the amount of money that's currently sitting in a project, right? Market cap is a mathematical calculation, right? So yeah. Triple B, there we go. Cryptus, what's going on? Happy Thursday. Moon is easier to get to technically. Maybe if Jasmy will top, it will be preceded by a removal of the innovation zone. No, Jasmy's not going to get removed from the innovation zone until their mainnet is launched and their product is out to market. Ripple is the government. I am late, but watch back later and like and sub on both channels. There you go. Will do. Thanks. Came in late. Was watching the vote on the Triple B. Nice. Kiza, Wealth X has been looking at too many X posts on XRP. On my way to get that extra dry powder. Super excited, Jared. Nice, man. That's how it's done. Hey, Rob, what do you think about Toshi? Toshi, I like Toshi. It's my. If I had to choose a meme coin to buy right now, it would probably be Toshi or Turbo. So, Fleming, hey Rob, happy Thursday. Does the BB bill have influence on crypto? If yes, can you elaborate? I need to get further into it. I need to see if there's any amendments and stuff like that before I kind of break it down, my friend. Carlos, Rob, what do you think about buying Bitcoin ETF on IBIT? Yeah, I mean, I would check out what the fees are first, but yeah. You're supposed to buy the donuts when you are late. Nice. All right, we're caught up, guys. Let's get into the news. Let's see what's going on out there. In the space today, We caught up kind of quick, but first, a quick shout out as always to the channel sponsor, Decent Biometric Wallet, guys. 2-for-1 deal on the biometric wallet, fingerprint technology. Not your keys, not your coins. Keep your crypto safe in your own self-custody. Use our link down below. Get a great deal. You can swap, take profits on there, and even stake your stable coins or whatever crypto you want. Get that passive income, guys. Absolutely super fantastic. All right, what do we have on the docket today? First up, Yellen hints at future rate cuts amid high interests. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen highlighted high real interest rates on July 4th, indicating potential rate cuts by the Federal Reserve. Discussing rates during an event, Yellen noted the need for possible adjustments as current economic conditions unfold. Concerns about high real interest rates may necessitate larger rate cuts if current conditions persist. These insights carry weight due to the past impacts of rate changes on broad markets, with potential implications including increased demand for riskier assets like cryptocurrencies. As a result, key assets such as Bitcoin and Ethereum could experience heightened volatility. Janet Yellen's recent commentary about interest rates underscores concerns about current economic conditions. With the U.S. Treasury Secretary's remarks, there is potential for larger than expected rate cuts in September. If rates remain unchanged at upcoming meetings, concerns about heightened rates are echoed by the Federal Reserve officials, including Michelle Bowman and Christopher Waller, who align with Yellen's views on economic strategy. If the Federal Reserve acts to lower rates, investor behavior might shift as risk appetite grows. This could affect cryptocurrencies as investors reassess asset allocations. Potential Federal Reserve action could increase the appetite for risk assets like Bitcoin. Federal markets have responded cautiously, with Yellen emphasizing the need for careful monitoring of economic indicators. The cryptocurrency community, including voices like Arthur Hayes from BitMEX, anticipate shifts, with Hayes seeing current environments favoring risk assets increases. Did you know past Federal Reserve rate cuts have often led to marked increases in cryptocurrency investments as investors seek higher returns from volatile assets? Bitcoin reporting a market cap of 2.17 trillion as per CoinMarketCap illustrates fluctuating investor sentiment. Its latest price is $109,649 with a trading value. We don't need to know that. We already know it. Insights on CoinCoo research highlights potential financial consequences, suggesting careful monitoring of economic, blah, blah, blah. Be careful with your investments. Do your own research, all that fun stuff, guys. But could we see rate cuts coming in the near future? Me thinks yes. All right, what else do we have here? Former Dallas Fed President Richard Fisher, Fed Chair Powell has done a very good job. This guy always bums me out. He's always anti.
Investors awaiting the June jobs report. It's a key piece of data that could have an impact on the Fed's next move. It comes amid renewed pressure from President Trump on Fed Chair Jay Powell to cut rates. Last night, he said Powell should be fired. Let's bring in former Dallas Fed President Richard Fisher. He is now senior advisor with Jefferies and a CNBC contributor. Also with us, CNBC senior economics reporter Steve Leisman. It is great to see both of you. Richard, it's great to see you again. We just had a conversation about, the time when President Trump called Jay Powell a stupid mule, which is just a few days ago, actually. But here we are now, and I'm wondering, if you think of Powell as having any sort of leverage in this conversation, in that he could give up, step down, obviously, when his term as Fed chair is up, but stay on as a governor.
Well, that'd be a tough decision to make, but he could do that. Again, I want to remind, we talked about this, Melissa, you and I, before. There's sort of a Fed derangement syndrome, and it's not unique to Donald Trump. Again, Lyndon Johnson took Bill Martin, who had been chair from 1951 to 1970. He took him to the ranch and physically beat him up. Like, our boys are dying in Vietnam. You're not accommodating us on monetary policy. And Martin went to his deathbed. He wrote in his memoirs, he went to his deathbed ashamed of himself. No one's going to do that. And then we forget Ronald Reagan tried to impeach Paul Volcker. So this isn't unique to Donald Trump. The expressions are unique. Jay Powell knows this. I don't think it has any impact on him at all. It wouldn't if it were me. I understand why he's doing it. The president has a constituency that thinks if the Fed funds rate is cut, it's going to lower their credit card costs, their mortgage costs, their car payments, et cetera. It doesn't work that way because the Fed does not control the latter part of the yield curve. The 10 years determined by supply and demand. So I understand why the president's doing this. It's political. I understand it. It's not unique. And by the way, he's not as brutal as Lyndon Johnson. So we'll just have to see. I don't read a whole lot into it. I don't think it affects policy. I think the jobs numbers will have a bigger impact than anything else on the next meeting in September and so on.
Richard, just one related question on this. At the end of Jay Powell's term, what do you think it will feel like from going from being the chair to being a governor? We were discussing sort of what that, just on a personal level, could feel like.
Well, first of all, it's not clear he's going to do that. He could go on another 2 years. I think it really depends on if he feels that whoever is appointed is a Trump lackey and is going to infringe upon the independence of the Fed. He could stand on principle on that and make that person's life very difficult. But remember, that individual, whoever it is going to have to carry the whole table. You got 12 bank presidents, the vote rotates, and you have the other governors. So if it's somebody who they feel is not going to protect the independence of the Fed, then there's no need for him to stay on. He's not a stubborn mule. He's a smart guy. He's done a very good job. I love this. When you say inflation is running at 1.7% in the White House, guess who made that possible? The Federal Reserve. Guess who's kept employment in pretty good health? We'll see today what's happening, but it's been the Federal Reserve. So it's hard to criticize them. Mistakes were made with transitory inflation, no question about that. But since then, they've operated very, very well. We'll just have to see how the other governors and the other bank president, all the bank presidents feel about whoever's appointed, because that person's going to have to lead them. And if they don't have respect for that person, we won't be able to.
Right. Steve, I don't know if you want to weigh in on this issue or if you want to talk about whether or not a number out today could actually make the July meeting live.
So I'm amazed at how calm and collected Richard is and how he's put it all into some sort of historical context that all of this is normal. Richard is not that much older than me. He didn't live through it, but he acts like he lived through it. It was all okay. I think this is all reaching a boiling point here. I think this is much more on tenterhooks in terms of the chair's position here than it appears. You have now the Senate is talking about things like investigations. The head of the FHFA is after Powell. I think that the chair is a strong person. I think he can hold on, but it's going to be tough and it's going to be difficult. And I also think that from the research that I presented yesterday, all of this does have an effect. It's been shown over time that presidential pressure, not like a cut but in basis points, it does end up reducing things. So I think that if this report ends up being negative or really, really weak, I think the Fed could cut in July because I think there's that kind of political pressure on the Fed. I also think that
wait a minute.
Just real quick, guys. I just want to comment there. Right now, the market has priced in no rate cut in July. If we ended up with a rate cut in July, markets would respond in a very bullish way. That would be crazy.
Saying that he's going to cave. I mean, if the FHFA investigation, if that were really serious and that there was a real concern that Powell could be removed because he made false statements regarding renovations to the Fed building, because that's what it's all about, basically, that the bond market would react. And in fact, we saw yields move lower. I mean, you would think that you would have the
bond
opposite.
market's already reacting, Melissa. It's interesting. This is what I talked about yesterday. There's actual and perceived independence of the Fed. And the bond market is trading in a sense as if the next Fed chair is already going to lower rates. It's really interesting. There's so many reasons for bond yields to be higher. I think Andrew was talking about that in the last hour. You have a weaker currency. You have a deficit that's about to go up quite a bit. All kinds of reasons for the bond market. You have tariff inflation potentially coming. And what's happened? Yields have come down while the president has been pressuring.
There is a difference
you have to remember,
between.
Melissa,
Okay, go ahead, Richard.
First of all, no, I mean, yields are still stuck in the 4% range. Only the 2-year has popped below 4% to 3.995. Come on, we're being a little bit too excited here. But if the numbers, for example, the Warren data that just came out, Warren is when they have to announce in any company that they're going to have significant layoffs and they're going to have a change of location or the employment picture. Those numbers are up. So we'll have to see. But if we're talking about a 4.5% unemployment rate, that's not dramatic. It's still historically low. I'm not calm. And by the way, I appreciate Steve saying that. I'm probably 20 years older than he is. But anyway, thanks for mentioning.
You don't look it.
Close in age, Steve. I really appreciate it. Anyway, this is a tough thing. There's no question about it. I would not want to be Jay right now, Mr. Powell, because I don't like getting the slings and arrows of an angry president. But again, it's not unique, and we don't want to have another Arthur Burns become chairman of the Fed, because then we will have a significant inflation problem. And that's why Paul Volcker had to be brought in to break the back of the system. Great pain. We don't want another Arthur Burns. And if it's someone who is too accommodative, that's what we're going to get. And the committee's going to worry about it.
I don't think it's a matter of being too accommodative. I mean, at the end of the day, he gave Biden's administration he gave them 3 rate cuts last year with worse economic conditions and worse inflation than we have now, right? He gave them 1 full basis point cut off. So to say, for someone else to come in and cut rates by the exact same number, like 1 full basis point, maybe 3 or 4 cuts, totaling 1 full basis point, I don't think you could label that as being accommodative, or else you'd have to say that Powell was was the same. I'm tongue-tied now. For Biden, right? You can't say that someone coming in to cut rates by 1 point would be simply accommodating Trump, while at the same time denying that Powell cutting 1 full point for Biden was not the exact same thing then, in worse economic conditions, right? So the argument doesn't really hold water, in my opinion. Strange Sky, thank you so much for the support with the super sticker. I appreciate you. What else do we have? Strange Sky says, go to the Patreon only for the price of a Happy Meal. That's a no-brainer. Yes, Meredith, it won't allow me to send a super chat, but the House and Senate just passed OBBB. It won't allow you to send a super chat. Why not? What's it saying? Which are you on Crypto Blueprint or Crypto Future? Because Andy was telling me yesterday was it yesterday or the day before, that Crypto Blueprint was giving him a hard time for sending super chats as well. So that's weird. Let me know, man. Ben, if crypto market cap actually went to 15 trillion versus 8 to 10, we're expecting, what does that mean for? That basically means that all price predictions right now would be blown out of the water. Binance Innovation Tag is just a title. Yes, I agree. I think the only reason I talk about it is because people ask me about it all the time. I think when Jasmy gets removed from the monitoring zone, I think it's going to be a nothing burger. I've said that time and time again, right? Too many people are expecting it to be some sort of massive pump. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a nothing burger. Because I don't think people care. I don't think people care that it's in the monitoring zone. It's not like people trust Binance's opinion on what a risk asset is and what isn't. Binance can't be trusted. They don't act with intellectually honest, statements and sentiment, right? So it's not a big deal, right? Trump, all talk, no help, promising genius bill, nothing. Rate cuts might save us. Yes, let's see those rate cuts happen. Do you believe someone should hold most of their portfolio in Bitcoin or alts or have 80-20? Carlos, I answer those kinds of questions over on the Patreon. We help people structure their portfolios and realign them and stuff like that. So I don't think at this point in time, unless you get in at the bottom of the bear market, that your portfolio should be 80% Bitcoin. I don't think so right now. Guys, hit the likes. What do we have? 397 people watching, and we only have 128 likes. Let's get to 200, guys. We got to beat the algorithm out here. We got to get to 200. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated, man. So get them up. Get them up. Florida crew, hey, my Florida crew, man. I can't wait to do a tour down in Florida. Beebs, my dude, renovations for the Fed building, yes. Palzalaki, get that like for the GOAT. Yes, John, blessings, my friend. God bless you. Binance is the risk. Yes, exactly. Lewis, what time are you going live for the Patreon, Rob? God bless you and all. We appreciate your knowledge. Worth the gold. Probably about, I'm going to try. Why is my, sorry. Going to try about 2:30, 2:45, something like that. So yeah, you don't want to miss that. I have, it's a little bit of a delay because I have to upload the video for the daily picks over on the Patreon as well. So the daily picks video will be up before we go live, and I have to do my buy alerts over there as well. So just to make sure everybody's up to date on everything, and then we'll do the live stream after that. So you have a lot of fans in Florida. We're ready for you. Yes, it's going to be a tour, man. It's going to be a tour. We're doing what is going on here? We're going to be doing a tour going to some hockey games and stuff. Beebs knows, right? So yeah. All right, SEC greenlights multi-asset crypto ETF with expanded criteria. Grayscale's request to convert its digital large cap fund into a spot ETF was approved by the SEC on July 1st and 2nd, broadening the scope beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. The SEC's decision to approve Grayscale's digital large cap fund into a spot ETF represents a historic shift. This approval includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Solana, and Cardano, expanding the previously restricted single asset ETF products. Grayscale, a leading crypto asset manager, spearheaded this innovative initiative, which could pave the way for more diversified crypto investment opportunities. Institutional access to altcoin ETFs is likely to increase following this development. The new SEC guidance allows certain token-based ETFs to bypass traditional processes, potentially easing the path for other large-cap tokens. This could encourage a surge in institutional participation given the increased market accessibility. Potential impacts on the crypto market include broader institutional engagement, potentially influencing asset valuations positively. ETFs offer a regulated investment pathway, promising greater transparency and security. The anticipation around broader ETF inclusion standards remain high among investors and projects, pending further SEC clarity. This recent approval marks a fundamental turning point in crypto ETFs, suggesting a broader market adaptability to varied crypto assets. It positions the industry on the verge of a heightened inclusion standard, potentially reshaping the landscape for institutional and retail investors. The market's response, evidenced by increased trading volume in included tokens like XRP, Solana, and Cardano ADA, showcases the palatable shift towards a more integrated crypto invest. Guys, this opens the door for, you're probably going to see in short order, probably the top 50 altcoins in market cap are probably going to be in ETFs sooner rather than later as a result, right? My average on Nadix is 2012. You think I'm chilling? I need 25% increase to break even. Yeah, for me personally, I would just continue DCAing, but that's just me, right? So I bought Nadix at 2012, and I'm chill DCA all the way. There you go. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. While the opportunity's there, you can either stuff your bags or, chill. One or the other, man. Expected more bond market revolt from Powell's resignation. So if Powell resigns, they're calling for a worse market. Check it out.
Right now is Roger Ferguson, former
Roger
Fed
drives
Vice
me crazy,
Chair, as
man.
well as a CNBC contributor. Good morning to you. Before we get into it, just your reaction to the jobs number. Do you put this in a good category? We had Steve Leisman, who found a couple of holes in it. What's your thought?
Well, look, overall, a very good category. The unemployment rate coming down, always very helpful. The job creation number after the ADP surprise yesterday, very welcomed. I'm not sure I agree with Steve on the parsing. I'm not opposed to it, but I think Rick Santelli said something very important, which is this is an economy that's driven by the service sector. That still seems healthy. So overall, this is a check plus. This is a good labor market report.
Okay, so now maybe I'll ask you the question I asked Steve. If the President, Trump, were to call up Jay Powell right now, or Jay Powell were to call up President Trump, and they were to talk about the numbers we just saw across the tape, the conversation would go how?
Click.
Good question. Let's assume a world of great rationality. I think Chair Powell would say, Mr. President, this is a good labor report. I think he'd also say something broader, which is the president himself would be better off if the Fed were widely perceived to be independent. I think the president's calling for lower rates in the face of this kind of strong economy or good economy is probably unwise. Steve Leisman said something I think Chair Powell would bring to the president's attention, which is if the Fed were to cut in the face of these kinds of numbers, the market might not accept it as a sign that they too should be lowering rates. The long end of the curve may actually show higher rates as people worry about inflation picking up.
Roger, can I just ask you, though, about that, which is, and it's actually contextual to even these jobs numbers, this bill today. There had been an argument. The conventional wisdom would be if you're going to add a lot more debt to our balance sheet in the United States and the dollar and everything else, you would think that the bond market would be unhappy about that. You would think. And yet, it has not been remarkably unhappy about that. Steve Leisman has made the point, potentially, that there's already a view in the marketplace, forget about next month or the month after, that a year from now, there will be a different person in that Jay Powell role, and that they'll be lowering interest rates. Do you think that is what accounts for what's happening here?
No, I don't. I think what's happening here is there are many cross currents that are driving the bond market. One is the ones you just talked about, which is, more debt. One would think that would be raising interest rates. Remember, there's also some talk among some economists, and even I saw in a CEO survey, of a much slower economy and possibility of having to cut, not for good reasons, but for bad reasons. So I think there's some who have seen, that as a possibility. So there are many cross currents here, but I do not think that a Fed that is perceived to be, beholden to the administration, any administration, or a Fed that's perceived to be ready to cut rates at a moment's notice is necessarily going to be a good thing. And I don't understand why that analysis is even in the marketplace.
Are you surprised the bond market is not speaking? Are you surprised the bond market is not speaking more vocally, though, when you hear the president go to take to Truth Social and say that Jay Powell should resign, as he did overnight?
Yes, to be fair, I am. I hear among individuals, obviously, a concern about that. But as I said, there are lots of cross currents that drive this. And some of it may well be a fear that the economy, as some of your panelists are talking about, is actually a little weaker than people perceive. And that may be also weighing a little bit on interest rates at the longer end. So I agree with you. It's a bit of a mystery. Right. I would have expected more of a bond market revolt.
My bags need it, guys. My bags need it. Okay, so let's go back over and have another look at Bitcoin. It's climbing since we started streaming, guys, back up to $109,661. Ben, I bought Nadex 201 DCA all the way. Yes, absolutely, man. I continue to just DCA, guys. So yeah, listen, I'm going to be uploading over on the Patreon today's daily picks for altcoins. Don't miss that video, guys. After that, we will be live over on the Patreon. Guys, if you need mentorship in this space, If you need help, if you don't know when you should be taking profits, when you shouldn't, where your exit price point should be on your portfolio so that you can leave this market with your profits intact, get over to the Patreon. We will help you with this stuff, guys. We'll make sure you're leaving this market with your profits. Join our mentorship coaching calls every day. Learn how to be a good investor in this space. Get the guidance and mentorship that you need. And, we do daily picks over there. We're live over there every single day. We have one of the best communities in crypto, guys. Honestly, thousands of people, 8 different chat rooms. Check it out. The link is down below. It's in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the description. It's everywhere you want to be. I will see you guys over on the Patreon shortly. For the live stream, click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.